I felt like I was dying. My body felt like it was crushed and soaked with blood, as though I had been in a bad accident, and I could even taste blood in my mouth. I was so scared by the thought of my death that I even called 911 in my home and everyone on my contacts list trying to get help. Hello everybody, welcome back to Trip Stories. Today we are checking out a story by a user named 7744 on Arrowhead. It's an experience on LSD and cocaine, which is pretty interesting to me. The user titled it Heaven, Hell, and Everything in Between, and it was reported in October of 2019. Smoke something, drink something, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get right into it. I will start off with a little info about myself and my past experience with recreational drugs. I'm 18 years old, about 6'2", 120 pounds, and I'm relatively healthy. I first began using marijuana regularly about 8 months ago and have progressed through the use of alcohol, DXM, ecstasy, nitrous, salvia, painkillers, sleep aids, cocaine, and now finally LSD. LSD had been on my to-do list before I ever even tried marijuana or any other illegal substance. When I finally found out I could get some, I didn't care what the price. I left for my regular dealer's, or I'll call him T, his house around 5 p.m. on a Friday night with 2 friends. I purchased 3 hits and my 2 friends purchased 2 and 1 respectively. We each started dissolving them right away, and T told us we could stay there until we came down because he had some cool stuff to show us while we tripped. About a half hour after the gels dissolved, I noticed that I was feeling very high, elevated mood, and a huge grin. T told me to start looking at different patterns to see if anything was moving yet. Nothing noticeable at the time, so T packed a bowl and told us that this would help it kick in. We passed a bong twice around the circle, and soon I was feeling very messed up. I couldn't concentrate on anything, and everything around me was just swirling and making me laugh. I would decide to do something, change a CD, make a phone call, and forget about it within seconds. I noticed that my friends were having equally intense trips and wondered if I really needed 3 hits, but it didn't bother me too much. After a long time of just rolling around on the couches and listening to very intensely trippy music, I noticed that I had to pee. I made my way to the bathroom and all the towels hanging on racks looked like they were waving at me. I steadied myself to piss and the toilet looked like it was spinning. I finally got the job done and headed for the door, only to be startled by my appearance in the mirror. I barely recognized myself. My face looked as though it was oozing downward and I had gained at least 50 pounds. I quickly left the bathroom and headed back toward the living room where my friends were. About 4 hours after we tripped, T called my name from his room and I went in. He showed me the visuals that were running on his media player and they slowly branched out to where I could see them on the walls in his room. He prepped a sheet of foil with cocaine and told me to take a hit. He held the foil and lighter and I held the mouthpiece and took a ridiculously deep hit by my standards and felt an instant renewal of my original high. Since my friends and I had been basically taking up space in his living room for a good 4 hours now, I suggested to them that we take a walk back to Jay's, the guy who took 2 hits, place. I don't remember much after this in the way that I remember other things. Everything I know about what happened afterward, I know as fact instead of a memory. I am told that I sprinted all the way to Jay's house. Jay and his girlfriend chased me all the way to the front door. We went upstairs and I plopped down on Jay's mattress. The next thing I know, I couldn't stop checking the clock. I would pick up his alarm clock, exclaim, "It's not even blank," and run to the door of his room, which was locked and at the time quite difficult to figure out. I would lie back down and repeat the process for about a half hour until Jay and his girlfriend were coming down a little bit and thought they ought to try and restrain me so I wouldn't wake anyone up or injure myself. I felt like I was dying. My body felt like it was crushed and soaked with blood, as though I had been in a bad accident, and I could even taste blood in my mouth. I believed I was at a hospital receiving treatment for this accident I was in. I was so scared by the thought of my death that I even called 911 in my home and everyone on my contacts list trying to get help. Jay took the phone from me so I wouldn't say anything I'd regret, and I felt so helpless. It wasn't long before I thought my heart was stopping, and I could hear my parents crying at the hospital because I was going to die. All of a sudden, I did die, in the trip, of course, and I thought I was in limbo with Jay. I was trying to have him communicate to my parents that I was very sorry and all sorts of things I would want them to know that I didn't have the chance to tell them. For the rest of the night, I believed God was taking on the image of Jay so I would be comfortable in heaven or wherever I was. I sat in Jay's room feeling depressed that there was so much I hadn't done, and then I realized I could do anything I wanted to. I started to get naked and run for the front door, ready to explore heaven. He caught up with me and suggested that we go to his dad's house for the night. It was then that I wondered why God would have a dad. And I thought that maybe Jay was Satan. I refused to go with him, basically trying to show Satan how tough I was, and began throwing things at him. Apparently, I was still tripping to be able to think things like this, but it wasn't obvious to me. I was scheduled to work the next day at 12, and I skipped it because I still thought I was dead. It wasn't until a little after 2 when I got a phone call that I realized I wasn't dead, and I hurried home to get ready for work. I would still do LSD again, but probably a smaller dosage, and I would need a trip sitter who wasn't tripping himself to help me through something like my own death. I will not again do the combo of LSD and cocaine, although I cannot say for sure that this is what set me off. I hope this report has been helpful or at least entertaining for anyone who has read it. Absolutely, that was definitely entertaining at the least. It's so wild. I forget that you can freebase coke. I can only imagine, 1, what that would feel like, and 2, what that would feel like on top of 3 gel tabs. Just sounds wild. Recently, I went to a rave here in San Bernardino, and my plan was to just kind of like do a small amount of cocaine just to kind of keep me awake through the night, which I did, very small amount. But what it allowed me to do was just get super drunk. But not like super drunk and sloppy, like super drunk to the point where I was drunk, but able to like still live my life. And it kind of was a bad mix for me. Maybe I could talk about it in my own trip story soon. So being on a wild LSD trip and having this cocaine running through your system and freebasing it is just wild to me. Very interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. I'm doing my best to get these to you guys once a week now, so stay tuned. There should be, at the time I'm uploading this video, maybe a day later, brand new merch underneath the YouTube video. You could always go to audible484.com right now. Cool new mind control t-shirt. And I got all you cocaine lovers, because I'm starting to see a big influx of you guys from the cocaine documentary. There's a new cocaine formula t-shirt that looks just like this there. And all the shirts I upgraded to actually be like really form fit, like nice t-shirts. They're not like the ugly, fat, boxy ones. So check it out if you guys are interested. It's the best way to support the channel and then also get something for yourself. I hate to promote shit like that, but check it out. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.